Hi, my name is Dr. McDaniel. I'm going to be your teacher this semester. Wanted to give you a little bit of information about myself. I've been teaching at MTSU full-time since 1995. I was there as a TA in 1993. My major was math, of course, and I got a master's in math, and my doctorate is in education from Tennessee State University. I actually went to undergraduate work at MTSU and did some graduate work there in math, my master's in math at MTSU, and graduated in 95. I taught for the math department for 4 years, from 95 to 99, and switched over to what is now known as University Studies back in 1999, and have been with them ever since. My area of interest is I love teaching math. I love working with students. And my current research interest is in statistics education. So if you're in the stats class, that is where most of my research revolves. We do a lot of activities in that class and a lot of research within that class itself. If you're in the college algebra or Math 1000 or another class, I still love teaching those classes as well. I just don't have a lot of research going on within those classes. So again, I look forward to working with you the rest of the semester. In the subsequent video you'll see that should come right after this, I'll give you a walkthrough of the syllabus and how to log into MyMathLab. Okay, I want to show you how to get into MyMathLab. This is the system we'll be using for the online statistics course. So we're going to go first to mymathlab.com. You should be greeted with a page similar to this. And if you have not registered in MyMathLab for a previous course, or if you're taking this course again, you will need to register. Otherwise, I believe I think you can sign in. So we're going to go ahead and sign in. You may need to register for the course itself and then add that course. So give it a shot either way. So most students end up having to register for the course first, and you'll create a username and password. You'll sign in. You'll just see a couple of courses here. So the one we're going to do is Online 1530K Applied Statistics. It should look something like this. I may end up changing the color scheme or something, but in general, here's what we're going to look like. And you'll notice here we're going to have upcoming assignments. We've got some stuff in here. We're going to click on Syllabus. So I want you to first go ahead and open the syllabus. I'm going to go through this one pretty quickly. I expect that you can, read through this, print it out. Teaching schedule, office hours are going to be pretty much just virtual office hours for the online class. I'll be in and out this semester, but I will post those when I know them for sure. I'll let you read description and the learning outcomes. I mean, this is a combination course, though. It's a little bit of algebra, but mostly statistics. Most of the algebra is directly related to the statistics. Okay? Not all of it, but most of it is. The text we are using is this Fundamentals of Statistics Custom Edition. So the Custom Edition combines the statistics material with the algebra material. Now, there is an online code. So you can either buy this Custom Edition book that comes with an online MyMathLab code, or you can just get the MyMathLab. You can just buy the MyMathLab code online by going to mymathlab.com, and you can buy the code. It's up to you. Either way is fine with me. The entire statistics book is actually online within MyMathLab. You get that as part of your purchase with the code. The algebra text is not online. So if you're one that needs a text for the algebra in particular, I recommend getting the bundled book plus the algebra book, the stats book plus the algebra book. It's up to you, though. Calculator, you will definitely need an 83 or 84 calculator in the course. Okay, before we start going over grades, this is a biggie. In order to sort of ensure integrity of the course, you have to get at least a 60% on the midterm and final exam, an average of 60 between the two. So let's say you make a 70 on the midterm. If you don't get at least a 50 on the final, you're not going to pass the course, no matter what anything else is. Okay, so what I'm going to do, and I'll talk about more of this later, is I will take your midterm and final and average those two scores together. If it's not 60%, you'll get an automatic F, no matter if you've made hundreds on everything else. Right? And this is really to ensure that you're actually doing the material online as you should be. I've had a couple in the past, not in this course. This is the first time this course is being offered, but I've had a couple in the past that I was suspect that they were actually doing the work. They were making. You can use resources during the test and stuff, but you shouldn't use somebody else, right? So make sure you are actually the one that's learning the material and doing the homework and so forth. And you can look at the grading breakdown here. We have 3 online tests, unproctored. Take those at home or wherever you need to take them, 100 points each. And then there's a midterm at 250 points, which is 25% of your grade, and the final is 25% of your grade too. And then homework and quizzes are in there as well. Okay, so you have to take the practice test before you can take the test. In fact, you have to get at least a 50% on the practice test before you can attempt the test. What I don't want you to do is to take the practice test, get a 55%, and then try to take the test, because you're going to get about a 55%. So take the practice test until you get the grade you want on the test, and then take the test. There's something called a study plan that we'll talk about a little bit about later. I'll show it to you in the MyMathLab. What that'll do is that'll generate problems for you to do based on what you've missed on the practice test. So you take the practice test, you get a 55. That's not very good. Don't just redo the practice test. You probably won't do a whole lot better unless you just made a bunch of careless mistakes. Hit the study plan, and it'll give you problems to do, just the ones you missed. It's not going to give you all the ones you got right. So you don't end up practicing a lot of stuff that you already know. You spend time on stuff you don't know, which makes sense. And as an incentive that you actually get these done on time, it'll add 5 points to your test grade for the first 4 tests anyway, if you get them done by the deadline. There's then a 3-day grace period where I don't add any bonus points, but I don't deduct any. After the 3 days, there's a 10-point deduction. So do not take these past that 3-day grace period. In fact, it is so crucial that you get that first test done by the due date. I mean, the students that do that end up doing pretty well in the course. Homework. There's online homework. I'll show you what that looks like in a little bit. I'll let you read through that. Discussions. We will have a minimum of 4 discussion topics, and I'll expect you to post on those. I'd like to use MyMathLab discussion board, but I may have to use D2L. So we'll see how the discussion board is in MyMathLab. I've never been crazy about it, but we'll just have to see, and I'll let you know. We won't be doing those for a little bit. I think we'll do a bio in the beginning, but after that, it may be a week or 2 before we do that, so I will let you know. Quizzes. There will be online quizzes. You get taken 5 times if done by the due date. After due date, you get 1 attempt. Practice test. You got to get at least 50% on the practice test before you take the test. The midterm, again, you need to do well on this, so make sure you prepare. And there's a practice midterm as well. You have to get at least a 50% on the practice midterm before taking the midterm. The midterm's proctored, so you will need to go to this website here or call the number that I've given right here in order to get that set up. Even if you're not taking it here at MTSU, if you're taking it somewhere else, I think I've got a couple, 1 or 2 that are going to be out of the country, you still set it up through our testing center. Final exam, it's a comprehensive final, worth 250 points. So make sure you are, and you will be prepared for it by the end, because each test that I give here is going to be cumulative in some way. Grading scale, the typical grading scale, the 10-point grading scale, 90 to 100 is an A, 80 to 89 is a B, and so forth. No plus minus. And here is a formula for you to figure out your average, although MyMathLab sort of keeps up with it, and I'll show you where that is in a few minutes. If you have any sort of disability, you can let me know. If I need to make accommodations for you, academic misconduct, I'll assume you don't need this. Don't cheat. Don't have other people do your work for you. Emailing me, make sure you include the name, the course, etc. Include the original email. I mean, I think you guys are probably going to be pretty good at this. And I will get back with you pretty quickly. So if you don't hear from me within 24 hours, something's wrong. That means I didn't get your email, or it got lost in a sea of other emails I've received, so you can send it to me again. And I apologize in advance, but that rarely happens. Okay, True Blue Pledge, and there's a map to my office. I'm in SAG 118, and the math lab that we have is right above me in SAG 202. A lot of folks take online classes. It's not very convenient for the math lab, but nonetheless, I'll post the hours when I get them, the first week of class. So print that syllabus out. Read it through, fine-tooth comb, outline it, highlight the important parts. And here's an outline I've given you. You will definitely, if you print nothing else out, print this out. You will need to print out the outline. It tells you each week what you need to be doing. And I've given you due dates for the quizzes over here on the side, and due dates for the test within here. So due date here by September 20th at midnight is the first test. Okay. midterm by October 3rd, etc. Okay, so what are you going to do when you come into the course? You're going to print off the syllabus and outline. Then you are going to go to sort of the heart of the course, which is the lecture material, the videos. So you're going to come over here, and if we are doing, based on the outline, let's say we're going to do chapter 1. Notice I've given you some PowerPoint notes. Print out. It's best if you print this out, so you don't have to. You can print these out. Okay. And then you will watch the video lecture. This is going to be me walking you through the data. And so here's an example of one of those videos. Okay, and so you can use the table of contents over here to sort of scroll through. The stuff in the first chapter is it's just all definitions, so it's not terribly exciting. We will end up sort of hitting a lot of this stuff all throughout the course. It's not quite as problem-oriented as the other stuff that we do in the subsequent chapters. Okay, so you'll watch that. Then once you're done watching the video, and I do not bypass that video. Another course I had, the Math 1000 course, I had a video lecture quizzes that made sure that you watch the video. This one I do not have that, but do not bypass the video. You're going to go to the homework. And I guess I don't have that quite set up yet, but the due dates I don't think are set up to start appearing quite yet. But you'll end up doing some homework problems here. Okay, glad I checked. I forgot to actually click the assigned button, so let's click on homework again. There it is. So you can see homework. If I just want to look at the quiz and test, I can click there as well. If I wanted to just see the chapter, I could do that. Let's look at homework, and for this first one, for instance, you'll see there are 15 problems. You can click on question 1, and a lot of this stuff in chapter 1 is just sort of definitions, not really solving a lot of problems, so lots of multiple choice and little pull downs and stuff like that, looking at definitions. So if you need help on any of these, you can click on textbook and tech help, ask my instructor, and so forth. When it's actually a problem, it'll actually have view an example, so you can click view an example, and it'll kind of scroll you through how to think through the particular concept. This is extremely helpful when you're actually crunching out problems, not as helpful when you're looking at definitions, although I guess it could be. Okay. Now let's say we miss it 3 times. Once you miss it 3 times, it's going to be a red X, but what you're going to do is, let me actually I'll miss this one. And it tries to help you out a little bit. Whoop, I've got a red X here. It's only giving me one chance, so I'm going to click similar exercise. You can't see that. Let me scroll on down. There we go, similar exercise. And it'll give me one pretty similar to it. Okay, and then I can do it and get it right. There we go. It removes that red X, so I should be able to get 100 all the homeworks, right? That's kind of cool. Let's cross out of that. And again, there was an Ask My Instructor button on that. Use that only after you've sort of exhausted the other resource. Don't just knee-jerk hit that if you're a little confused. Try to troubleshoot these things on your own. You'll have to do that on a lot of these problems in my class. But definitely don't hesitate to use that if you've exhausted it and you're still a little shaky on the concept. So you do the homework. There are quizzes for each section. What I used to do is I used to sort of push a bunch of quizzes, a bunch of sections into one quiz, but students were sort of overwhelmed having 3 or 4 sections on a 10-question quiz. So most of the quizzes now only have 3 or 4 questions. But you'll notice there are no help aids over here. So you'll actually need to know how to do this. And a lot of the stuff comes directly from the homework. Okay, so if you've done the homework, you should have no problem at all with the quiz. Okay. And again, you get 5 chances at the quiz. I take the highest score. What else? Oh, here are the practice tests. So right now, these are the practice tests. Now, this button is really for the print practice test, which we're not going to have, so I may just remove that. Yours will be under quizzes and tests. And if we look at quizzes and tests, this first test, for instance, we got a practice test. You'll click on that. And the tests have anywhere between 15 and 40 questions. It kind of depends on the topic. So here's the first practice test. You can kind of scroll through and see we have 22 items on this one. So very similar to how much we would have on the other one. A lot of these problems have multiple parts. So while there are only 22 problems, one or two problems may have 4 or 5 parts. So it's not as short as it may seem. What else we got here? Quizzes and tests. So you do the homework. You watch the video, do the homework, do the quiz, the 3-question quiz, and then repeat that until you get to the test. We have the ebook right here. Here's the grade book. When you click on the grade book, we got a study plan. So you can click on study plan, and it'll generate problems for you to do, but you've missed within the practice test with on the quizzes. So you do the quiz once, you don't do too well, hit the study plan. Don't just repeat the quiz again. The study plan will give you problems to do based on what you need practice on. We've got an ebook. So if you're one that did not buy the actual physical copy of the book, the whole book is online here. So I can drill into any section that I want. So let's say I need to know more about simple random samples. Click here. I can watch a video. This is not me. This is a sort of a publisher-based video. Very good. Not the ones that are required to watch, though. If I just wanted to open up a physical copy of the book, I click on the multimedia textbook, and you can view the book. I'll let you do that. StatCrunch, we'll be using StatCrunch, and I'll have some specific videos on how to use StatCrunch. You need to have a little message up here that Java needs my permission, so I'll trust Pearson to have a nice, safe site. Okay, so if there is a particular data set you want to pull up, I can pull that in to StatCrunch, and it will allow me to do some stuff with it. If I wanted to create bar charts, pie charts, and again, I'll have some specific videos on how to do that within the problems. In fact, let me show you one thing I forgot to show you on the homework. Let me make sure I find one that I know has something that we got to do. I think 4.2. So when we have these big data sets, I don't want you to spend a long time typing big data sets in. While that's certainly important that you can do that fairly quickly. Let me find one where I got a data set. Oh, like here's one right here. Not too bad, but a quick way to do this is this little button right here. I can click copy to table, and I can open in StatCrunch, and it'll actually open up this data set directly in StatCrunch, which is kind of nice. So I'm not going to have to retype all this data in. And I can show you more of that when we actually get to the specifics of these problems. What else do we have here? Tools for success. We've got calculator tutorials and things like that. If you need help with any of these. Review cards, tutorial for statistics, we can pull that up. You can. I'll have my own tutorials as well, so we can crunch that out. You can look at, we're doing one way ANOVA, how that would be done, for instance. Okay, anything else here? Pearson Tutor Center. So we've got a tutoring service that you can call and get help online. Multimedia library. You can click on that and you can drill in. This is just textbook stuff. This is nothing I've created. But if you're looking for stuff, anything on Chapter 4, it'll find all the resources for Chapter 4 based on the book. So there's some videos that we have. There's some more videos. We've got some correlation by eye, a little Java applet, PowerPoint, etc. And we're not going to be using communication or Dropbox here quite yet. I'm probably going to end up using D2L for the discussion board, but we'll see. And that's pretty much it for now. I just wanted to give you a quick walkthrough of the course, how to log in and go through the syllabus, just as I would in an on-ground class. If you have any questions at all, email is definitely the best way to get in touch with me. So I look forward to working with you through this class.